Hall of Fame offensive lineman Joe Thomas. His thoughts on how the Browns will handle Joe Flacco versus the younger quarterbacks in this quarterback competition.
I've been in that situation quite a few times during my career where you've got a veteran quarterback who you feel pretty comfortable with, at least being able to manage the team and get you guys into the right plays, throw the ball to the right receiver. And certainly Flacco, I think, is that and more, and I think he can win a lot of games for the Browns. But I think the best strategy is you give him the keys and say, hey, this is your team, Joe. And you don't ever look back. You don't ever look in any other direction. But obviously, as the season goes along, you're evaluating every throw he makes. And you're also watching the young guys in practice, and you're trying to figure out how ready can they be. And then depending on how the team is playing, how everybody's meshing, how these young receivers are coming along, because I think they got one of the better receiving groups that we've seen in Cleveland in a while. Obviously, Jerry Jeudy had a little bit of a breakout year last year. Cedric Tillman's playing better. You got Deontay Johnson this year. David Njoku still there at tight end. So you got some good pass catchers, some good weapons. They're going to lean, I think, a little bit more on the run game, no matter what happens with Quinshon Judkins. And so this is a team on offense that has a lot of good young players, and it's a matter of how are they meshing, how are they playing, are they able to produce points and numbers, and if they do hit a little bit of a skid and maybe they're starting to be on the outside looking into the playoff hunt, it's going to be, I think, really important for the future for next year to start saying, okay, we need to play one of these young quarterbacks.
Pete, I hear that all the time. You get a really good idea, not a complete picture. Day in and day out, you're going to know what these quarterbacks are if one of them can elevate to that just by seeing how they absorb what you want them to do, how they practice. Those are the things that they're going to pay attention to. But I understand the thought behind, if it's Joe Flacco's team, you got to say it's Joe Flacco's team or Kenny Pickett's team.
Yeah, there's two elements here. I think Joe Thomas is largely right. The one thing he sort of leaves out, which I think a lot of people sort of forget, yeah, the quarterback position is really important, but it's not just about the quarterback. It's about the guys who are going to catch the ball. And as we watched last year, Jerry Jeudy took off when Jameis Winston entered the lineup, and that is something that is to be considered. Joe Flacco, whatever flaws he has, he's going to give receivers chances. And certainly Jerry Jeudy, they want him to have another great year. David Njoku, those are guys that they're counting on to be productive. But they need Cedric Tillman to get passes he can make plays on. They need Harold Fannin to be able to count on the quarterback to get him the ball in the right spots. Jamari Thrash, these are all guys they're looking at. So, yeah, the quarterback's really important, but that doesn't help you, one, win games, or two, develop the other guys on the team if you're just throwing a quarterback out there and he can't do it and you're sort of hindering everybody else. I think there's a larger element to it than just can they figure out what the quarterback is. And to your point, which I cannot hammer home enough, just because we don't see it on Sundays doesn't mean that the team doesn't know what they have in a quarterback. They're there with the practices, meetings, they're with these guys for months. We treat it too often like there's this random element where we just don't know until it happens. They've got a really good idea, and if they're not out there, there's a good reason for them usually in these scenarios.
Yeah, and I take it even a step further. If they don't know what they have based on practice, we got bigger problems than that. The coaches should know based on how this guy prepares.